All right, everybody, it's Halloween. It's the 31st of October, 2024. It's 2:45 p.m. here in Germany. This is the Insanity Report, the last one for this week, because tomorrow is a holiday here. I believe that you have it in the States as well. I think it's All Saints Day. At least that's what it's directly translated to. I'm not a religious person, so I don't know. But our area of Germany where we live celebrates that holiday as a national holiday or as a county-wide holiday, I guess, and everything will be closed. So I'll have a 3-day weekend, which is awesome, but it means that there will be no Insanity Report. However, tomorrow I will be releasing the 3rd episode of What Is My Representative Voting For, which is important as well. Everybody should check that out. So the Insanity Report for today on Halloween. Unfortunately, I don't have any Halloween theme for you guys this time, or Halloween type story. But I've got 2 things that are relatively important to talk about. One is a great win for us by the Supreme Court, which is fantastic. Right now, it seems like the Supreme Court has been the country of America's last line of defense for complete and total obliteration, really, by the leftist ideologues that have so much power. They have warded them off. Now, I didn't think they did a great job during the election last time, because I think there were cases they should have stepped in on and taken because of the risk of the division of the country, because the election was obviously tampered with on many fronts, whether it be the social media front, whether it be the mail-in balloting front, whether it be the collusion of, the fortification deal that they wrote in the Times. Molly Ball wrote a big article about it, explaining exactly what they did to fortify the election of 2020. I think the Supreme Court would have done good to step in on some of those and at least hear the cases, but they didn't, which, made me frown. I was not happy with that at all. But I have to say, they have made more good decisions than bad ones since then. And so they've really been the last line of defense, and they deserve credit where credit is due. And one of those places they deserve credit is on the decision they recently made, which is going to allow Virginia to clear its voter rolls, which it was doing. And I put a story, I made a video about this a couple weeks ago when it first happened. And that was the Biden administration, the Department of Justice, was suing the state of Virginia because they were removing the names of non-citizens from the voter rolls, and they're clearing out dead people that from Virginia, and people that don't belong on voter rolls and are not eligible to vote because they're either not a citizen or they're dead. Those are, or moved, and so they were cleaning up their voter rolls, basically because they caught on that there were a bunch of non-U.S. citizens registered on those voter rolls, people that they themselves said, I cannot be on this voter roll because I am not a citizen, and yet they were put on it anyway. They caught that, and then they started removing them, and the DOJ, Biden's DOJ, sued them to try to stop them from removing people from the voter rolls. And they based it on a law that says that you can't purge voter rolls within 90 days of an election because, that's seen as some sort of election interference. They don't want to risk that people that are eligible to vote get purged off the rolls. I don't know what that has to do with 90 days. But anyway, they tried to base it on that law, but the Supreme Court said no. The Supreme Court said no. The Supreme Court said that if people who are not legally allowed to vote are on those rolls, they can be removed, of course. That's just normal. You know what I mean? Right? That's just normal. And so Virginia will continue to purge the names off the voter rolls. This is a good sign, in my opinion. This is a great sign because it shows that the Supreme Court is much more attuned to what's going on with these elections. This time around, I really think, I have no idea. I don't know anybody on the Supreme Court. I don't have an inside person. It's just 100% speculation on my part. But I think that some of the justices on the Supreme Court has seen what they're ignoring of hearing at least the facts, or at least the cases on the election in 2020 was a mistake. It has further divided the country. It has made people still divvy up into two camps. One claiming there was an insurrection based on perfectly adjudicated election results. It was the best, most perfect election ever. And one camp that says this election was completely rigged and stolen. And they even admitted as such in an article in the Times by Molly Ball. And I think that that's a problem. And I think that the people that are closest to the Constitution, which is the Supreme Court, I think that they have realized that ignoring those cases on standing and bullshit stuff was a mistake, and they can't let something like this happen again. And so they are acting proactively in this case by being on the side of elections with integrity and rules and a process. That's the way the process is supposed to go, and they're trying to keep it on the rails here. And that's a great thing. And that's what I think this decision means so much more because of that. I think that they realize this last cycle was a mistake, and we're not going to let it happen again. And so they are erring on the side of fairness in elections, reasonable in elections, the way the rules are set up in elections. And they are not going to allow the left or the Democrats to cheat if they can put a stop to it. And they are showing that. They're kind of showing their teeth. I'm sure the left hates the Supreme Court now. And they've hated him all these last 10 years. You know what I mean? But they really hate him now because they're also now working actively against their cheating mechanisms and thwarting their efforts, which is great. So that's great news. Take that as a massive win on the weekend before the election. Fantastic. And I think that if everybody gets out and votes, everybody goes out and does their part, I think that Donald Trump will win the biggest landslide in American history. I keep saying it over and over again, but it just can't be any other way. If you look at the momentum, look at the people that are on that team, look at the people that are out there at these rallies. It's mind-boggling. I mean, he's a rock star. There's no way he can lose. There's only one way he can lose, and that is if the American people that want to see Donald Trump in the presidency don't go out and vote and become lazy and apathetic, which you've got to shake off anyway. That's got to be a thing of the past in general, not just after this election or not just during this election. It's got to be a thing of the past. No more apathy. People have got to start paying attention to what these people in power are doing and voting accordingly. That's what people have got to start doing. You can't rely anymore on a news media that's going to drip feed you shit so that's enough information to be able to make a vote. No. You're going to have to start doing your own research. You're going to have to start paying attention to these people's voting records. You're going to have to start demanding more from the politicians that you put in place. And so now's a good time to start. Don't miss this voting opportunity. Get out. If you can vote early, do it now. If you can't, go on election day next Tuesday. Nobody is allowed to sit at home. If Donald Trump loses this election, it's not going to be because the left cheated or they... No. That's much more difficult this time, right? And on all kinds of fronts. Of course, they're going to try. They're already trying. We see the things they're trying. But everything is on our side. The Supreme Court, Donald Trump, RFK, Tulsi Gabbard, Elon Musk. I mean, fucking everybody. So you can't lose. You can only lose if you stay home. If you don't go vote. Then it's y'all's own fault. And fuck you guys then. You know what I mean? Because that's basically the end of it for us living here in Europe too. You know what I mean? Really. We need a change in the political landscape, and we need it now. And everybody knows it. And it's time to start voting for the right people for the right reasons. And not the wrong people for the wrong reasons, which is what American voting's been all about for so long. So let's get it together. Supreme Court's got your back. Everybody's got your back. This should be a walk in the park for Donald Trump, and you can make it so. That being said, there's one other thing I want to talk about, which may not be as important, but it's also about the voting. It's kind of like streamlines into that. I don't know if you guys know who Eric Weinstein is, okay? Eric Weinstein, I think he's a physicist. He's a very, very smart dude. He's the brother of Brett Weinstein. Brett Weinstein and Eric Weinstein are basically two liberals, right? Eric Weinstein is a scientist. Brett was a college professor until he got until he got basically evicted from his job along with his wife, Heather Haying, from Evergreen College. Also because of some woke shit. Long story, not going to tell it here. If you don't know who these guys are, Brett has basically he hosted an event in Washington, D.C. on the 29th of September this year. It was called Rescue the Republic. Giant event. He sees what's going on, and he has been, very, very COVID critical. He started his podcast back then after they got thrown out of Evergreen. Him and his wife, Brett and his wife, are super smart. They're very interesting to listen to, and they are seeing the situation for what it is. Even though they are Democrats, or were Democrats, I don't know if he's changed parties, but Brett realizes the Democratic Party cannot be saved. It has taken on every bad idea that exists all at the same time, and there's no way to roll this shit back. They've got to be destroyed, pretty much. They've got to be put back in the corner, and they've got to get their shit together. And he sees that. And Eric Weinstein, I have also watched hours of podcasts with him, and he also openly has talked about that and sees that for what it is. He's against the child sex change bullshit. He's against the open borders. He's against everything the Democrats basically stand for today. He's against the censorship and anti-free speech. He's for Israel. All the things. And yet, now I don't know if this is 100% true, so keep that in mind. But and I think it is, because I get it I haven't seen the tweet, right? But apparently he put out a tweet or a statement saying that he just couldn't vote in this election. Now, that is the most cowardice, pussy fucking thing I think I've ever heard. That now he disgusts me, this guy, because he has openly shown and stood for that he does not agree with anything that the Democrats are doing. He's called them dangerous. He's called all kinds of shit they're doing dangerous. He doesn't agree with a damn thing. And yet, and he's worried about where the country is going. His brother Brett is doing everything he can to try to rescue America from the clutches of his own party. And Eric Weinstein, his brother, I thought that dude was on the same page, but he's obviously not. Because now that it comes time to pull the lever, even though you may not like Donald Trump, because obviously he doesn't, or he would vote for him, then you know that this is probably really the most important election ever. I hate saying it because they say that all the time, but I think that this time, it's like the boy who cried wolf shit, but this time I really think it is. Not just for America, but for everybody. And he's too pussy to go and pull the lever. Now, maybe he's just putting that statement out because he's still so worried, because they were lefties, and he probably still is. And the only people the guy knows are probably liberals. They're probably all I hate Trump maniacs. And he's probably just about gotten away with what he has said in public, and he probably has lost a lot of friends as well. Maybe he's tired of losing friends. Maybe those people, these superficial fuckers, are so important to him that he just can't vote for Donald Trump, or he'll get excommunicated from his own societal campaign parties or whatever it is. Maybe his wife hates Trump so much that she's going to divorce him if he votes for Trump. So he has to put out some statement. You know what I'm saying? But then if that's the case, if any of those things are the case, don't put out a statement at all. Just say you're voting for Harris and go and vote for Trump. You know what I'm saying? But he can't do that because there's too many people on the other side that will be pissed off if he goes and votes for Harris. So what's he going to do? He's going to pussy out and not vote in the most important election ever, in an election where one side is completely on his side and the other side is completely against what he thinks, his values, everything, even the values and what his brother thinks. I mean, that's crazy. That's the most cowardly thing I've ever heard. That sucks. Fuck that guy. Then you really are, in the end, you don't have the balls to really make a stand. He can do all the big talking about what he thinks, about, oh, that's crazy, and the Democrats and crazy, you know what I mean? But in the end, he's not going to work against them. In the end, he's still basically on their side because, for whatever reason. That's what it comes down to me. You know what I mean? He might claim he's not on their side. He might claim that, no, I don't agree with the open borders. I don't agree with the transing the kids. I don't agree with any of that shit. But I'm not going to do anything that might hurt their chances in the election because I can't vote for Donald Trump for whatever reason. That's madness. And this is not the guy to follow. This is a loser. This guy's a loser. I'm sorry. I had great respect for him. I've watched everything he said, and I've listened to everything he said. I haven't found any reason to discount anything he said. Not in the past, not recently, except for this. Now he comes out with this shit after being a staunch defender of free speech and democracy and, anti all the shit, all the woke shit. Now he comes out and says, yeah, but I still can't vote. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, if my vote could have helped Donald Trump and not helped the crazy Democrats, but I can't do it. So hopefully it goes your guys' way, guys, because I'm really not in the fight. You know what I mean? That's a coward-ass bullshit thing to do. What a pussy. Sorry. That's how I look at it. Eric Weinstein, loser. Sorry. All right. Guys, I hope you guys have a great weekend. I'll have a great long weekend. And then we'll be seeing each other again on Monday. And then Tuesday is right there. It's going to be exciting. It's almost like watching a Super Bowl game at this point. Super excited. Everybody's geared up. Which is crazy. I never thought I'd be like mega excited for an election. But like I said, it's like a Super Bowl game. It's going to be good to go. And if everybody gets out, does their part, Donald Trump's going to win, people. For real. So have a great weekend. We'll see you guys next time. And if you want to get all my content delivered directly to your inbox, that includes the videos I make and the articles I write, all you got to do is subscribe to my Substack. Do it below. You can do it for free. You can do it for $5 a month. Either way is fine. $5 a month, I would greatly appreciate it as well. And if you're watching this somewhere else, then you can follow me there. But just go to it'sallaboutlogic.substack.com. Go to it'sallaboutlogic.substack.com and subscribe there, because that way you get all the content I make delivered to your inbox. You can sift through what you want to watch and what you don't, what you want to read and what you don't. And you don't have to wait for notifications that may never come. So do that, subscribe, share this video, and we'll see you guys later.